Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you are new. Hello, my name is V. I post nail tutorials every Thursday and Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Central Time. I am starting off today's video extremely happy, extremely grateful, blessed, and just super excited. I recently shared on my vlog channel a company collab photo shoot that I did, and I can finally share with you guys what it's for. I recently partnered with Kiara Sky. My face, you guys, is officially on their website. Click the link down below in the description box to shop my must-have Holy Grail products from Kiara Sky. I'm super excited to be doing this collab with them as I absolutely love their products. That being said, today's video is being sponsored by Kiara Sky. I am gonna be doing a fun 3D nail art design. I have not done 3D in a while and I love doing little characters with it. So what better way to kick off the Christmas season with some gnome inspired nails. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Now let's get right into it. Getting right into today's video, I am starting off with a pre-prep practice hand. I'm gonna go ahead and use my hand file. This is the Kiara Sky hand file, the 8080 grit. They are the half moon ones. I'm gonna go ahead and use the flat end of it, and we're going to be filing the sides of the tips just to make sure that everything is nice and flush to the natural nail. Now getting right into our acrylic application, I am using the Perfect Nude from Kiara Sky. It is their all-in-one powder and I am obsessed with this, and I definitely will say it is the perfect nude. So highly recommend this color if you guys are looking for a really pretty nude color. I'm starting off by using my acrylic brush, picking up a small bead of acrylic. I'm going to be placing that where I want to start my smile line. We're going to be doing a French style design on the index finger. And I am using the tip of my brush to carve out that smile line. I prefer to do so with my brush versus cutting it off with any type of tool. It's just my personal preference. And I'm just flattening that out wherever I need to and then continuing to carve it out until I am comfortable with the smile line. Now I'm taking another small bead of acrylic, placing that on top of the first one, gently blending that out, quickly working my way up into the cuticle area. And always remember to hold that finger in a downward position so that the product flows down away from the cuticle. You want to avoid flooding in the cuticle area all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up any little areas that I may have missed. And then again, making sure I'm tucking in those sides and perfecting that smile line. Now for reference, I am using the acrylic brush in a size 14 from Kiara Sky. Along with that, I'm using their acrylic monomer as well. Now I decided to add a little bit of color into this design, and I'm adding this really pretty light blue color. This is called Baby Boo from Kiara Sky as well, and I'm just going to be adding a thin layer, basically following the original smile line, and we're going to be adding that thin layer of that blue color. I felt like it would give a nice contrast between the nude and the clear design we're going to be adding at the tip. So I'm just very carefully going around that original smile line, again carving out with the tip of my brush. And whenever I'm carving out a design, I do try to get my brush nice and flat so that it works to my advantage. And then I'm just going ahead and finishing off the other side. I quickly clean off the nude portion, making sure that none of that blue gets on top of that. I prefer to work with thin layers. So I am making sure that I'm cleaning everything off and making sure that it is as perfect as possible because I will be encapsulating versus filing. I know a lot of nail techs prefer to really cover that up and file it off to reveal the perfect smile line, but I prefer to do it in thin layers. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that off, and then we're going to be adding some sparkles. Now I'm taking A2C from the Sea Glass collection. It is a very pretty translucent blue. It pairs really well with the blue color that I chose for today's set. And I'm just adding that as my base. Typically, I like to use clear whenever I'm using loose glitter. However, for today's set, I figured it would look really pretty to add a see-through color just to pair very well with that glitter. So now I'm taking my loose glitter. This one is called Mermaid Tail, and it is an absolutely perfect glitter for mermaid nails in the summertime, but also very good for some frosty snow type nails for Christmas time. So I am obsessed with this glitter. It is one of my favorites, and I'm just applying that loose glitter over top of A to C. And I am using that blue again at the tip just to kind of darken up that blue color. And so you could really see that on the clear tip. Now for the pinky, I decided to add a little bit more glitter as well. I am loving using this powder as my base versus using just clear, because I feel like it gives it a little bit more color to it and it blends right in with the glitter. So I'm using that again as my base and then just adding that loose glitter over top. And we're going to be doing the similar kind of design that I did on my last set of nails that I did on myself in my last video. I figured it would look super cute, and I honestly wanted to see what it would look like with different colors versus the neutral colors that I used on myself. Again, just packing that loose glitter onto that wet acrylic, and then I'm going to be taking the perfect nude color, applying that on the rest of the nail, and very carefully blending it up into that glitter cuticle. Now once I get closer to that cuticle area, I want to make sure that I am being extra careful and I do not fully cover that glitter. I want a little bit of it to show through that nude color. So I'm just thinly applying that, tucking in my sides, making sure I'm cleaning everything up very nicely, flattening it up. And then I'm going to add a little bit more to where I want the nude color to start. Again, very, very thin, as I want it to be super translucent where it touches the glitter. Now for our index finger, I am going to be taking a medium-sized bead of acrylic. We are going to be doing a full cover of that nude color. I am starting off by adding a good amount at the tip, bringing it all the way down towards the end of the nail. And I'm just making sure that I'm cleaning up the sides. I try to keep it as neat as possible, so at the end I don't have to do too much filing. And I am just going to go ahead and apply that nude color on the rest of the nail as well. Now this is one of the powders that I have talked about before that has a little bit of that pigment left behind in the powder, just a lack of, I guess, mixing when they created the color. But nonetheless, I'm just taking my wet brush and kind of dabbing it on the pigment, and you can see it very quickly disappear. So it's not a huge issue at all. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish applying that acrylic on the rest of the nail. And for the middle finger, I figured I would add lots more glitter. So we're going to be using that see-through color as well, adding that as our base. And then I'm just ombreing the chunky glitter on the top portion of the nail, bringing it down towards the tip. I figured it would be a nice little breakup between the simple nude nail right next to it and just give it a little bit more sparkle, which is absolutely necessary, especially during the holiday times. Now I'm going in with the Kiara Sky Clear acrylic and we are going to be encapsulating these nails. I am starting off at the cuticle area for the pinky, working my way down towards the tip, and I essentially just add clear wherever needs a little bit more thickness. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of this process. Once everything is nice and dry, I am going in with my Kiara Sky Efile. I am going to be filing these nails. I start at the cuticle area and I make sure that that acrylic is nice and flush to the natural nail. Now for this specific nail, I am being extra careful as there is glitter in that area. You want to make sure you apply it as flush as possible so that when you go in to file, you do not file any of that glitter off. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the nails. Again, starting at the cuticle area, making sure that the acrylic is nice and flush, and then just quickly going vertically up and down the length of the nail, smoothing out any areas that may be a little bit more bulky. Once I'm done filing the surface, I am taking my hand file once again from Kiara Sky and filing the sides. Now because these are C-curved tips, I am going slightly underneath as well just to make sure that everything is nice and straight. and then going down the sides. And of course, we're going to be flipping the hand around to look at the nails from the client's perspective and squaring off that tip in that direction. Now, what I love about these hand files is the fact that it does have the curved side to it. If you are familiar with hand filing and prefer to hand file, this is going to make your life so much easier if you haven't tried to use a hand file like this. The curved side to it allows you to go very carefully around that cuticle area without having to be extra cautious. Whenever you're using a flat end, it is really tricky and slightly complicated to get around that cuticle area, but with the curved side, it is so much easier. So definitely recommend these if you like to hand file. I'm taking my pink sponge buffer from Kiara Sky, and we're going to be quickly buffing the surface of these nails. These are a little bit more on the coarse side of it, which I really like, and I honestly feel like helps so much better if you have a lot of ridges from your e-file, which I've seen lots of comments regarding that. Take a buffer like this, and it's going to smooth everything out very, very nicely. So I'm just going in and buffing the rest of the nails in prep for our nail art. I'm taking the Kiara Sky lint-free wipes and a little bit of alcohol, and I'm going to be cleaning the surface of my nails and my practice hand. This is just going to help remove all that excess dust and prep our surface for our nail art application. Now I am going to be doing some 3D nail art. We're going to be creating a cute little gnome for today's set. Very quickly, I am taking my white acrylic from Kiara Sky along with my 3D nail art brush, and I'm going to start off by making out the little gnome's beard. So I'm not trying to be careful with it. I'm basically just placing it on there as my base, and then we're going to be adding tons of texture with our brush. I'm going to be drying off my brush and using the point of it and kind of just carving out little lines, making some texture on that acrylic to kind of give the illusion of it being an actual beard. I'm not trying to be perfect with it, like I said. I'm honestly just dabbing in there and creating tons of texture. And then I went ahead and added a little bit more, and as the acrylic dries, that's going to be your best bet to adding texture to it. When working with a really good blendable product, a lot of the time if you apply it on there and you try to carve something out, it's just going to blend right back in and smooth itself out. So you want to work with it a little bit more on the dry side to be able to get that texture. Now we're going to be adding the nose with the perfect nude. I was going to use a different nude, but I figured this is a perfect nude color. So we're going to be adding that very small bead, and it's a very big and round nose. And I'm just flattening it out a little bit. And now we're taking Baby Boo once again, and we're going to be doing the hat. So I'm starting off by doing one end of it, and then we're going to be adding the other one. So whenever I'm doing designs like this that require me to add a little bit more product here and there, I try to work extremely fast. So you can see that it all blended together very nicely, and it looks like it was just originally one bead. And that is essentially what I'm trying to achieve. I want it to look as if I put one big bead and I molded out that layer of the hat. Now I'm just carving out that little nose area to give it a little bit more dimension and it to actually look like it's overlapping the nose versus setting like right flush to it. Now we're going to be adding the top portion of the hat, And again, for this area, I'm actually wanting to leave that little crease. So I'm not blending anything out. I'm gonna leave that crease right where it's at, and I'm actually taking the tip of my brush and carving it out so that you can really see the folded portion of hat versus the top end of it. And then we're just gonna be adding kind of a flopped over effect right at the tip, and then I'm gonna be adding a little cotton ball moment to the very tip of it. Again, a very small bead of that white acrylic, and then as it starts drying, I'm going to take the tip of my brush, dry it out, and start kind of stabbing at the acrylic. And you can see what I was talking about with working with moldable, blendable acrylic. I'm trying to stab it and create texture, and it's just blending right back into itself. Now I did decide that the hat needed a little bit more on the sides, so I'm just very quickly taking another small bead of that blue acrylic and adding it, kind of overlapping over the beard. I felt like it was just too small and I needed a little bit more on the side, so I'm just quickly doing that, blending it right back into that acrylic. And what I like to do is take another small bead, as you see me there, and just blend it out so that it looks nice and seamless, as if I never added another bead on the sides. And then I'm just quickly carving out the ends once again. And then at this point, I think I decided that it looked a little bit too blank on that nail. So I originally wasn't going to add no body to it, but I figured at this point that it was just kind of alone, like a floating head. So we're adding a glitter kind of body coat, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they wear. So I'm adding some of that sea glass color as my adhesive. And then I'm just layering on that loose glitter. And I feel like it just made it so much better. It like brought it all together, and it goes really well with the other nails as well. I'm going ahead and top coating these nails. I'm using the shiny acrylic top coat from Kiara Sky. I'm applying that very carefully in a thin layer onto the pinky, middle finger, and index finger. Now at this point, I think I decided that I did not want the middle finger to be shiny. So I am taking a lint-free white from Kiara Sky and a little bit of alcohol and really just cleaning the surface off to reapply our matte top coat. This is the matte velvet top coat from Kiara Sky, and I'm just re-top coating it, very thin layer, and then I'm adding some around our little gnome that we created. Very carefully avoiding our acrylic 3D nail art. I love to keep the texture of the raw acrylic, but you can absolutely top coat it if you feel it is necessary. So once we are out of the light, remember to always cure your top coat fully for a minute. I like to do 2 minutes just to be safe. We're going back in with some nail art, and for this I'm using the gel art liners from Kiara Sky. This one is from their second collection, and I'm using the baby blue color. I don't know if it has a specific name, but I will leave that in the description box and on the screen for you guys to see. So I'm just very quickly drawing a tiny little snowflake on the side, and then we're going to be adding some accents around, and we're going to be sugaring that nail art. Now I'm taking this very, very fine glitter that I'm not quite sure where it's from. I found it in my drawer and I was like, I'm gonna use this. It's very, very fine, but I will try to find a similar one and link it down below for you guys. I'm just quickly pouring that over top of the wet gel paint. We're placing that in the light and dusting it off. That basically concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a ton, and I'll see you guys next time.